The C34 has two cutting cylinder options. We have a 6 blade and we have an 8 blade. If you go for the 6 blade, that gives you 111 cuts for every metre that we travel forward. If we go for an 8 blade, that gives you 145 cuts, again, for every metre we're moving forward. So just that slightly finer finish. When we're setting the cylinder on cut, and both, whether it be 6 or 8 blade, both cutting cartridges set exactly the same way. So we switch the fuel off, tip the mower back, again, we'll sit there quite happily, doesn't need support. Our cylinder, our cutting cylinder here, is fixed. That just rotates in bearings. What we do is we lift and lower the bed knife or the bottom blade up and down to the cylinder to create a scissor action to cut paper. We need slight contact, what we call whisper contact. Now, you would need to check your cylinder really probably daily if you're using the mower for sort of 6-8 hours per day. So what we do is we use standard photocopier paper or 80-gram paper on average. And what we do, using gloves, we never do it with the engine running, tip the mower back, using the paper, we put the paper between the blades and rotate the cylinder. That's now cut the paper. It'll also do that to your fingers if you get your fingers in the way or haven't got the correct PPE. Try it on the right hand side, sorry, between the cylinder. Now that's not cutting on that side, it's just folding the paper. That's what it's going to do to the grass plant on the pitch. So what we need to do, we need to just bring that bottom blade just that a little bit closer on the right hand side. We want it as little contact as possible, but we just want a light whisper so that the cylinder spins quite freely. We have two adjusters, one on the left, one on the right. That lifts and lowers the bottom blade up and down to the cylinder. And we need to make sure that the bottom blade is lifted up and lowered in line with the cylinder. We don't want the bottom blade coming up higher on one side or the other. If you hear a clicking or a knocking noise, it means the bottom blade is too high up on one of the sides of the cylinder. You also want a very light whisper. So, taking my spanner, 9/16 spanner, or in my case here an adjustable, what I'm going to do is just bring that on cut, just that little bit more. So I put my adjuster on, turn that anti-clockwise. Anti-clockwise on these adjusters brings the bottom blade closer to the cylinder. Turning these adjusters clockwise takes it off cut. So again, using my paper, just between the blades, it's cutting. I check it's cutting on all blades. Just wants that little bit more, just to bring it just that little bit closer on that side. So we just got a very light whisper on both sides. Just light whisper. Check with the paper again. Keeping the fingers well out the way. And that's cutting now, just like a pair of scissors, cutting the paper. That's what we need. Very light contact, just with a light whisper. So now we know the mower's set, now we can set the height of the mower. So we say in this instance we're actually going to set this to 25mm. Tools we need for setting the height of cut is a height bar. All new mowers come with a height bar. We need a 13mm spanner, we need a 10mm spanner, and we need the steel rule. All mowers, as I mentioned, come with a height bar. The height bar is what we use to set anything in the height range of this unit. So this mower will mow down as low as 8mm and mow as high as 55. And we can set this to cut in anything in between those parameters. So today we're going to set it at 25. So when we hold the height bar, we hold it by the bolt head here. And we've got to imagine now that the flat of that bar is effectively soil level of the pitch. That's soil level of the lawn. Everything that grows above it should be grass. So I've got a locking nut on the bottom of this bolt. Under the lock nut I can screw the bolt in, or I can screw it out of the bar. So what I want to do, I want to get 25mm or 28mm, 30mm, 40mm, whatever you've decided as a club, you're going to set the mower for a cutting height. So today we're going to set at 25. So I unscrew the bolt until I get 25mm from the head of the underside of the head of the bolt to the bar or soil level of your pitch. So put the bar on. At the moment we're about 18mm, so I've got to unscrew the bolt further out until I get the desired height of 25 millimeters from the bar to the underside of the head of the bolt. Once I've done that, locking that up just stops the bolt moving. Lock that back up. Just a quick check to make sure that we've got 25 millimeters, which we have, which is fine. I then use my 13 millimeter spanner to slacken the two nuts on this side and the same on the right. We don't take them off, just literally give them a turn. Same on the other side. One turn is generally all that it takes. I lift the roller up. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the height bar underneath the mower so that the rear roller is situated here. I'm going to clip this onto the bottom blade and then lower my front roller down. So literally all I do, put that on there, and if you can see, the bolt head is just clipped onto the bottom blade of the mower. And then what I do, I drop the roller down until the bar doesn't jiggle about, it's nice and snug, the roller turns. Now I know that my blade there is effectively 25 mil above soil level of the lawn or the pitch. Once I've done that, I then lock these up, but then I've also got to do the same on the other side. Again, making sure that the front roller is parallel to the rear roller. So take that off, move that to the other side of the machine, clip it on the bottom blade, drop that down, roller turns, bar's nice and snug, lock that up. Our mower's now set at 25 mil. If you wanted to double check, you can just go back to the other side that we've already set, put that underneath, that clips onto the bar, it's against the rear roller, it's against the front roller, roller turns, bar's nice and snug. So now we know that that side's also set at 25 millimeters.